rifle in sort of strange positions, cradled in my arms, with live rounds being shot over my head. And it was tough. It was really tough. And I gained a lot from it because of the tension. But it was very, very difficult. And you need to do that. It's really a luxury to be able to, I guess, beat yourself up. It really is. Because you get a sense of what it's like in an action picture, in a war movie or whatever, what it was like for the people there. And the preparation, like in Platoon, where they went out for weeks and lived in the jungles. And it's really a luxury. And if you do get tired and you do feel you've lost all your energy, deal with that and remember how it felt and use it. So when you're on that set, you can recreate reality for yourself. And many times it's not overt, it's not big, it's very subtle. And the most interesting actors we have are people like Brando or James Dean and all, or Jack Nicholson or Al Pacino, that have all that inner pain, and they come up from a different place, and they've experienced certain aspects of preparation for the roles. And in an action picture, I believe the more you can acclimate to the character for real in preparation, and if you have the luxury of a rehearsal week, which seems to be, they're doing away with rehearsal weeks these days, but work out and find what the character does, how these characters live, and how long were they out in the field, and what it was like, and talk to their relatives, talk to their friends, see what you can find out. Use as many direct contacts as you can. And that will, of course, create the exhaustion, because there's so much information out there. But the ultimate performance will be worth it. Well, I mean, the advice I give people who are starting out, in a sense of who don't have an agent, who have just taken, a multiple amount of courses, is to go and do a play. Read backstage, read show business. You've studied for several years. Try and go do a play. And read backstage or show business or variety. Find out what's casting and go and do a show. Actors, a ensemble piece or equity waiver play where you're not getting paid but you have a shot of getting the part. And develop and work on what you've just learned. And eventually ask other actors for information about their agents, if they have agents, and then call some of these agents and ask them to come see you, or producers to come see you. I think you need to have a little foundation in the theater coming directly from what you do here before you can try to get on television or in the movies, because you've got to create a foundation for what your work is, a technique. And it isn't easy. But the more you work at it, and doing stage plays is the very best practice anybody can do. And in this town where theater is not received that well, this is not a theater town. New York is a theater town. But here, make it an effort, and it's for you. It's not so you can call your mom and say, come see me in a show. It's really for you to try out a variety of techniques that you learned in class and see if they work for you. And there'll be a director to tell you, yes, it works, yes, it doesn't, but try this, and allow yourself to be confident enough to go out and do shows. And that, I think, is the best way to utilize what you've learned in class. And when you're comfortable enough, then you'll have an agent by then, because your work will be better, and then he'll submit you for different TV roles or movies, and then you'll have your craft honed in. Hope that answers your question. When you don't get the part, the best thing to do is go work out. You just go there and work out, and just the endorphins will kick in, and you'll feel good about it. If you sit there at home or in a bar and drink and figure, oh God, why didn't I do this? I should have lifted my hand during that second line. Why didn't I do that? Oh God, we all go through that. Had an audition and with the cameras rolling. So staying fit, in good shape, can only help you. It can only help you, and it's a great time sitting on the bike to learn lines, to play with the play you're doing, to play with the character, to try things. I find that when the endorphins kick in and you're really exhausted, the same part, the same 5 lines that you're reading come out differently. They come out differently because your nervous system is more attuned and you're coming out with all this great stuff. And if you can remember it or just jot it down what you're doing, how you interpreted this line while you were buzzed on the bike, it's wonderful because it's often better than what you were sitting there trying to figure out, how do I do this role? Should I say it this way? Do I feel, because it's all in your nervous system. It's all how you are emotionally interpreting, and you're at the highest level when your endorphins are kicking in, whether you're running or whether you're on a bike. And those are my most effective times to create variation. Variation again. I think there are so many films that have done a lot of research on certain characters, films that have had a reasonable amount of pre-production time, where the work has been done conscientiously about these covert characters. And if you look at Body of Lies, it was really interesting. I enjoyed Body of Lies. Same kind of deal. The other one with I've forgotten, Jesse, we would know it with...
Hurt Locker? The Hurt Locker? No.
Hurt Locker is a better example. Hurt Locker, all that research, and what was it about? One guy who really needed to do that in his life. This is where he got his rocks up. He really lived in that world of tension, of fear. And it wasn't fear to him, it was true, it was a catharsis. It was a purging to be able to debomb these vehicles. And there was a lot of research done on that, a lot of thought. You believed every moment that you saw in the Hurt Locker. There wasn't anything extravagant, and there wasn't anything overt. It was all internalized, everything. The fear, everybody had fear, and yet there was this one character who pushed the envelope every time, and he was successful every time. To answer your question, it has to do with the preparation of the film. It also has to do with the preparation of the writer. If the writer really can create the character with a great deal of introspection and really understanding himself, it's much more interesting to watch. If the character isn't written as well, or the actor doesn't do enough homework, then you're going to get that feeling that you got in the Matt Damon movie. But you don't get it in the picture with Fox, with the fellow who did Ray.
Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx.
The Kingdom, right.
Yeah, that movie moved like that, and you bought everything that went on there.
I didn't, but
you bought the feeling, the environment, how things move. It took it took a license in regard to moving the camera and all that. But I believe that films about covert characters are often not thought out enough, and they get cute. Hurt Locker wasn't cute.
like Three Kings, like
Three Kings. It becomes a Hollywood film rather than it becomes a Bruce Willis movie. Because bottom line is, when you're thrown in a very frightening situation, you're frightened. There's no question about it. You're not cool as cucumber. You're just not. It's business. It's just business. And I think it has to do with the preparation. It has to do a lot with the writing. If you won't feel that way about better written scripts.